Hello everyone, my name is Sam Webber. I'm an incident meteorologist trainee here on the Calf Canyon Hermit's Peak Fire, now working with Southwest Team 5. Here we're going to get started with your Tuesday Facebook weather update. We'll do as we always do and look at the satellite view from space across the region here. So what you'll notice across much of the southern and southwestern United States is pretty clear skies. You notice a little bit of cloud cover here over northern Mexico, West Texas, and southern New Mexico. But as far as our area goes here across northern New Mexico and Arizona, not much going on at all. But there is indeed a little bit more going on. If we go into our next here, we'll look, and we've shown this for the past few days here. This is our water vapor imagery with the blue and green colors representing more moisture in the air, and the yellows and oranges representing that really dry air. So if we look over our area right now, there's a reason why we have no clouds in the sky. And that's all this yellow and orange shading representing a lot of really dry air over us. And you know, for today and tomorrow, we're expecting to see some of the driest conditions that we've seen over the fire area. So that is why today we have red flag warnings in place. We had one yesterday, we have another one today in place. As this storm system, you can kind of see how there's a little curve in the flow up here over the northern Great Basin. There's a trough that's moving off up to the northeast, and we're on the southern flank of that. So we're seeing less of that moisture that you see up there, but a lot of those winds. So that's why we have the red flag warnings in place today. And what you'll notice down here over the western Gulf Coast, or my apologies, the western Gulf of Mexico, east coast of Mexico and southern Texas, you see a little circulation here. That is an easterly wave, what we call, that's moving around this area of high pressure that's generally right in this direction. You can see these clouds moving to the southeast. You can see these clouds moving up to the northwest. So we have a clockwise circulation here around this area of high pressure. And what that's going to do later this week is it's going to move this moisture that we see here in the western Gulf up through Texas and into New Mexico and give us a pretty good push of moisture. But until then, we do have to deal with these dry conditions today and even a little bit of tomorrow as that storm system starts to lift off and we start to let up on the gas a little bit on the winds. But until later this week, we still have to deal with those dry and windy conditions. So I want to zoom in real quickly here. We'll go to the next slide and take a look at our visible satellite. At the beginning of the loop here, you can see here's the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. You can see right here maybe a little area of smoke. So our fire actually had a pretty good run yesterday, and we'll go to the next slide here, and this is a shortwave infrared image, and it helps us see a lot of the heat that's coming off of the earth. And so what you'll see right here in this little black spot this morning is heat from the fire that took off yesterday. So if you were looking around, you might have seen a lot of smoke being put up in the air. And that's because that fire right there, we'll go to the next slide here, took a pretty good run up in the Pecos wilderness. So I mentioned the other day how we put up a ROS station. And that ROS station is right above where that fire is now burning. You can kind of see it in the background here. This is when we went up on last Thursday to put up this weather instrument. Now, that fire has run up that drainage right there, burnt all these trees, and you can see now, here's where our station is located. The fire perimeter is just below that. So here's the current winds as of 10:20 a.m. before I came to record this here. We're still seeing wind gusts up to 57 miles per hour in that area. And you can see right where it aligned with that drainage and caused that fire to run up pretty significantly yesterday. Yesterday, we continued to see winds as high as they are right now this morning, if not even higher. We saw a wind gust of 63 miles per hour up there with humidities down to 17%, so really hot, really dry, windy day yesterday. So it's no surprise that that thing found some fuels to get in and took off like crazy. It took about a 5-mile run and a 5,000-acre footprint up there. So pretty significant day yesterday. Could be another big day today with those winds. I mentioned before we have another red flag in place, drier conditions. So we'll be paying attention to that, especially that weather station that we put up to see how things are evolving through the day. So we'll move on here and we'll look now at our 3-day weather forecast maps. I had mentioned yesterday how there was an area of critical fire weather characterized by this gray shading over this portion of the United States, and how we were expecting to see that transition a little bit further east for today. So you can see that area of gray shading where we're still expecting some critical fire weather conditions. By Wednesday, we start to move out of that critical fire weather. We will still be elevated, but not so critical. So not quite hitting red flag warning criteria, but we'll be just below that. So things are still going to be a little bit aggressive out there. And I mentioned that area of moisture down in the western Gulf of Mexico. You can see this green shading here start to creep up closer and closer to New Mexico. Here you see it today, southeastern New Mexico, a little bit of showers and thunderstorms. Today we start to, or my apologies, tomorrow we start to expand that into North Texas and a little bit more of southeastern New Mexico. Then we move into Thursday and we see that area really expand up into much of western and northern New Mexico and even parts of southeastern Arizona as that high pressure starts to pull more of that moisture out of the Gulf. So we'll move on here and we'll look at the trends and what our weather models are showing us with that moisture moving in. So here we are today. You can see through Wednesday, these are our dew points, which are our measure of moisture in the atmosphere, continuing to plummet through Wednesday. So we reach our really some of our all-time lows since we've been here over the past 12 days. Continuing to plummet through Wednesday, but look how sharp that increase is late Wednesday into Thursday, and really through the weekend and into early next week as some of that moisture continues to get pumped into the southwestern United States. And you see that similar trend here in the humidity. Darker orange representing afternoon minimum humidities and the lighter orange representing overnight humidity maximum, where we expect them to come up during the nighttime and see less active fire. However, with those dew points continuing to plummet through tomorrow, you see we don't really have much recovery in our maximum humidities overnight. We're staying down around 20%. Some other areas of the fire could even see humidities lower. So not a good sign for the next couple days, and look how low it gets tomorrow. That's single-digit relative humidities. But as we head later into the week, and especially through next week, early next week, you see those humidities come up in the afternoons, and overnight we really improve those humidity recoveries, which means a shorter burn period, as opposed to right here in the next couple days where we're going to have a longer burn period with much drier conditions hanging around. We have shorter burn periods as we head into this moisture influx. Also means we start to see daily thunderstorm chances, kind of something characteristic of a monsoon pattern, which is exactly what it's looking like right now. You know, not to say that the monsoon is sticking around, and I'll show you in the next graphic here, but not to say that the monsoon is sticking around, but it's just starting to introduce itself into the region. And then you see daily clouds increasing all the way through early next week. So I'll move on here to what I was just talking about. At the beginning of this loop here, this is the upper level flow pattern, which drives a lot of the weather. You can see this storm system up here over the northern Rockies and northern Great Basin right here, lifting out of the area, and then you see that area of high pressure that I was talking about start to build in, and a lot of flow starting to move out of the Gulf of Mexico. There's that easterly wave moving in, bringing the moisture. And then, you know, every day, this is through, I believe, Wednesday next week, and every single day we're just seeing flow move out of the Gulf of Mexico. So we should see every single day our moisture get a little bit higher and higher, bringing those afternoon thunderstorm and shower chances, humidities going up, temperatures moderating a little bit because we're going to have more cloud cover and less daytime heating with the sun. And things hopefully start to moderate a little bit over the fire. I mentioned how it's just starting to introduce itself here. As we head later into next week, there are some model indications that that area of high pressure that's driving these flow patterns could reorient itself over the Four Corners region, which would not be good for thunderstorm chances, nor would it be good for relative humidity. That would bring us another hot and dry pattern, so we'll need to keep on watching that. But for now, things are looking promising as we head into the weekend here. We'll go to the next slide and take a look at our fire weather matrix that helps us give the team here, as well as ourselves, some situational awareness of what's coming up. So we talked about Tuesday and Wednesday, red flag warning today, dry and breezy, but still a little bit windy. We got max or min humidity averages in the single digits today and tomorrow. So critical fire weather still sticking around for the next couple days. But look how much green we have on this matrix here going forward. Thursday, we start to see that push of moisture, and then every single day, starting to see more and more of that moisture pump into the area, bringing us daily chances of showers and thunderstorms. Great humidity recoveries, 70, 60, 65%, and min humidities only in the upper to mid 20s to even 30%, potentially even higher depending on when storms start to develop. So things are looking good heading into this weekend. Hopefully we see some more moderated burn conditions, but until then we still have a couple more days of those elevated fire weather conditions over us where we could see a lot more smoke and a lot more fire growth. So that'll end the update. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.